So guys, we have some fresh information surrounding the main suspect, the prime suspect in that terrifying bombing attack at Regent Street last Sunday, Mr. Daniel Alexander Ramirez Piodomo. Now here's what is reported in the news. This is a news source, Guyana, released from the 30th of October. The High Court has granted permission to the police to continue to detain 8 of the suspects who were first arrested as part of the investigations into last Sunday's bomb attack at the mobile gas station after their 72 hours of detention time expired. The 9th suspect remained in custody also, as their detention time has not expired. The police investigators are expected to approach the court when that time comes to seek an extension in detention. The main suspect in the attack, Venezuelan national Daniel Alexander Ramirez Piodomo, continues to be questioned by investigators. News sources understand that he has been positively identified by an eyewitness. The man was captured on camera initially trying to dump the bag with the explosive near the fuel pumps. However, after he was blocked from doing so by the pump attendant, he moved to a side of the building and was captured on camera planting the bags with the explosives near to the cooking gas cylinders. Meanwhile, local investigators have unearthed photographs of the man from back home in Venezuela, where he could be seen posing with various assault weapons. The police investigators are also still trying to understand the motive behind the attacks and the link to Venezuela in Guyana and other Guyanese who are suspected to have been part of the planning of the attack and ensuring the movement of the main suspect. Several van loads of Venezuelans were picked up by the police over the past few days and questioned. Most of them were released. Now, we would like to know if these Venezuelans that would have been picked up by the police, if the police actually saw paperwork for them, identification, work permits, temporary residency, permanent residency, stamped passports showing that they are on vacation. These are things we want to know if the police actually found, because it is of most importance, it is of paramount, it is most paramount that the government starts to do an immediate screening activity where they start screening every non-Guyanese in this country. It is important for them to start a campaign getting every international, every non-national in this country checked and verified. All the Colombians, all the Cubans, all the Venezuelans, because God knows the Colombians and the Venezuelans, you can't tell them apart, they all speak in Spanish. So it's time for the government to actually act. Now, I must say again, we are happy that the smart city system, which Ms. Waldron Atto, I don't know why Ms. Waldron said which my government, our president he invested in the smart city. This is our money that you guys are investing. This is not your money, Minister of Home Affairs. This is the country's money. This is state funds. And it's not President Ali's money. And we're happy that you invested into the cameras and you invested into smart city. And we're happy that because of the smart city, you apprehended Daniel Ramirez. But we still didn't see the smart city worked on the 24th and 23rd of April when Adriana Young's body would have been missing. With all the body cameras on them police, with all the cameras at the AA hotel, not one of them didn't work to give us information, compelling information that could have led to at least one arrest from that little girl's death. I have a daughter, so this thing is hurting for me. Not up until today, nobody has been held culpable. Not one person didn't do any jail time, any prison time. And it seemed as if, even though all the cameras were there. So, we don't want the smart city to work sometime and then it doesn't work sometime. And I know, Guyanese brothers and sisters, you guys can see that this smart city, it works conveniently. And the other cases that we can point to, it's just that I don't like to mix up my onions. The issue in this country, apart from the salary, the compensation for competence, apart from paying old people as if they're actually sacrificing in this country through pensions, apart from making land available, because this is our land, this land is my land, this land is your land, from the Rupununi to the quarantine. Besides all of these problems, one of the major problems in this country is our borders and monitoring of the internationals that are coming into our country. So while we're happy that the smart city helped the police and lead them to these arrests, now there is a concern that if they do not find enough evidence, that many of these men may have to go free because they still have rights. Once they have documentation, they still have rights. So the 72 hours that they can hold someone who has been advised or who a crime has been alleged against and all of these things, that still stands. This is why you see now the police got to go to the court to seek extension of time that they can hold these men as they do their investigation. So we still gotta hope now that this man is actually the man indeed. And we gotta hope now that the police can find enough evidence to make sure that somebody is actually held culpable, because young Soraya Bourne lost her life. This family is still living with this grief. And police officers and government of Guyana, we want to see the effectiveness of this smart city across the board. We don't want it to work sometimes for some people and it doesn't work for some people. And like I'm saying, we could point to times that it didn't work for some people, the smart city. We could point to times that the smart city should have been used to find people that you could see they were videoed and they were guilty, and we didn't hear the smart city pick up other pictures and could have found this person. So it's just real convenient to me that the smart city worked so well and you guys picked him up so fast, because this was a serious issue. This is a national security issue. So yes, brothers and sisters, this is the information. The police are still doing their investigation. They would have picked up van loads of Venezuelans according to the article. Many of them they had to set free, but we still want to know if the police took the opportunity to actually check these people's document to see if they are legal in our country. But we just have to wait and see where this is going to go and who is actually going to be charged for this bombing, and if, according to what we're hearing in the public domain, this death penalty is going to be enforced. This is an Eternity Enterprise presentation. Y'all stay safe.
Hey guys, and a pleasant good morning to you, and hope that you're having a better day than yesterday. Today I want to discuss and I want to relate to the bombing that occurred in Regent Street, and I want to say that it is something that we should take very seriously. Now, for all the time that the Guyana Police Force are claiming that they caught the perpetrator, we have not been hearing what the motive is behind this bombing, and that is of great concern. Now, one of the other great concerns that I myself have been looking at is the person they caught on camera doing this act compared to the pictures of the person posted that they collected and saying that this guy confessed to doing the crime. I don't want to hear 2 weeks after, when this man in court, he starts saying, oh, I was beaten into a confession and whatever, because we're seeing traits that don't look alike, like the man ears, like the man nose. It's different. If you ask me, I don't know if the AI, the images from the gas station or whatever, but I have some concerns over. I'm not questioning the work of the Guyana Police Force. Those guys are intelligent, and I'm hoping that later down we got to hear that they catch the wrong person when that person would have made their escape that is actually responsible for the bombing. Now, one of my greatest concern here is motive. One of my greatest concern is motive. Now, I have not heard what the motive is. They're saying that this guy confessed, but what is his motive? And I think we need answers as to know what the motive of this bombing was. Was it related to the people that own the mobile one gas station? Was it a beef they had with somebody? Did somebody pay them to destroy the gas station? Or was it really a terrorist attack from Venezuela? And if this man is saying, listen, I brought this bomb from Venezuela, got a boat, got into Guyana, planted this bomb, then that is an attack from Venezuela. And we have to ask ourselves, how many more of these attacks are there, and what is the purpose of these attacks? Now, let me tell you something. Them Spanish people and them Venezuelan people or whatever, they could walk into we country like nothing. Walk around our country like nothing. And let me tell y'all something. I have traveled to a few countries, and I remember when I went to Brazil, the first time we were in a taxi getting to Boa Vista, there were two police vehicles that came, two police vans that came, blocked off, cordoned the entire road, stopped our vehicle. I was like, I got nervous, and I was like, my friend, I said, what the hell is this? She's like, oh, that's normal. It's a normal routine check. And basically everybody in the car had to be able to provide their identification. I've been to other countries where also my friends, they say they as a tourist always have your ID on you, your passport on you, so you're able to identify that you're legally in the country. How much of that happens in Guyana, I don't know, because I know that they got enough of them aliens walking around without identification. Does the Guyana police force stop and demand identification from people as to know if they're legal in this country or not? No. And this is where national security comes into play. And this is where the Guyana police force and other agents have to be vigilant to pick up when these people come into our country illegally. You understand? I mean, God knows government accepting them Nyabingi. Nyabingi, we got Spanish here, but to this junction, to this point, one make it bad for all. Me and K, what y'all say? One gonna make it bad for all. And to this point, there must be some sort of control as to how these Venezuelans enter our country and what they're entering our country for. The purpose they're entering our country, because this attack, if this is a direct attack from Venezuela, trust me, my brothers and sisters, y'all look out for way much more. Remember, America, they're pulling people ass. And I don't know where's the whole logistics behind them, because, you know, I've heard people saying like, yeah, let America attack we Venezuela. We gonna target Guyana. And we already know what we're playing with. So I don't know if this is a sign that these people send to say, hey, y'all better watch out, because, you know, we could crawl into your country just like that, do shit, and then just leave. And I'm calling on the government, I'm calling on the agencies, I'm calling on the Guyana police force to be more vigilant. Look, that little 6-year-old lost her life. I mean, she did nothing. That is just like a casualty. And believe me, a lot of countries, look what is happening in Sudan. Look what just happened in Brazil. A lot of countries, we see civilians lose their lives even though they're not part of the picture of what is happening, or they're not the targets of what is happening. And we're asking and we're begging the government to please heighten our national security, and also let us have that system that other countries have, where, you know, the police force are more vigilant when it comes to the foreigners generally in the country, that they have identification, that they could prove they're legally one, and that they can prove that, you know, the purpose that they're there, whether they're visitors, whether they have worker visas, or whatever the case is. You know, we got to have some sort of security, and not just any Tom, Dick, and Harry parading in our country. Remember, we got oil now. It's like if you got a house, all the time you're poor, you know no thief man ain't gonna jump into your house. But all of a sudden you start get money. And once you start get money, what do? You secure your house better. You put on grill for the window that ain't had grill in 40 years. You put on grill in the window because you know you got little money. You know you're wearing little jewelry, and you know that you're going to be a target now. And that is what the government needs to admit, that we're now a target. We're now a target because we have oil, because we're one of the fastest growing economies in the world. We now got enemies. If y'all didn't know we got enemies, we now got enemies. All right? So please, for the sake of our citizens, for the sake and in the name of that little girl that lost her lives, we're asking you guys to please take national security a little bit more seriously. You guys have a great day. And remember, we're open at the Other Wives Sunday to Sunday. You guys take care.